Hey everyone, Pat Rigsby here. With all the new competition in the industry, new clubs still popping up in spite of the current economy, a lot of the small 24-hour clubs and a lot of the no cost or low cost, no frill clubs like the $19 clubs, popping up seemingly every day, coupled with the fact that we're facing some challenging economic times. Right now, more than ever, it is paramount for club owners to be maximizing the value of each of their members through selling personal training and the utilization of other profit centers. So what I want to do is put together a couple video tutorials, probably isn't the right word, but video lessons talking about how you can maximize the personal training revenues in your club. So we'll go ahead and start now just by discussing how you can reach a better penetration rate. Right now in the industry, less than 5% of club members utilize personal training. The last concrete statistic I saw was between 3 and 4%, and to be honest, that's pathetic. These people have essentially raised their hand and said, "Look, I'm joining your club because I want a better quality of life. I want to lose weight. I want to feel better about myself. I want to have more energy. I want to have better health." And all we're doing is renting them access to equipment and maybe handing them an aerobic schedule and telling them they can come to some group fitness classes. So these people are by far the most pre-qualified personal training prospects in the entire world, and we're not taking advantage of that. So, it starts with a mentality for you as a club owner or club manager to understand that more people should be using training in your club. More people should be really engaged and taking advantage of the services that you have to offer. Plus, as a club owner or manager, you need to accept that personal training should and can be the engine that drives your business. It can be your best retention tool. It can be the centerpiece of you driving referrals. It can be what drives the sale of other offerings within your club. If you have a retail profit center, it can certainly be the driving force behind success there too. So, it starts with the mentality of the club owner and club manager. Okay, so assuming that you are somebody who's willing to get after this and really start to infuse that type of culture within your club, the first place that we want to start is, we want to make sure that we have, the right systems in place to kind of indoctrinate all new members into that culture. So when a new member joins your club, are you turning them loose with with all of your equipment, with all the resources your club has to offer, and not giving them any guidance? Are you doing one of those standard old orientations where you walk them through, show them how the seats adjust on machines, and leaving it at that? Are you doing kind of a half-hearted little 30-minute introductory session? Whatever you're doing, in most cases, most of the clubs that I go in, and I've toured quite a few over the last couple of years, not to mention the clubs that we personally consult with, and even the club we own. Most clubs just don't get it. They've not understood that your best sales opportunity is immediately after the point of sale. You schedule that introductory session, and ideally you're probably going to offer more than one session, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But we need that first session to be a minimum of an hour. It needs to begin with a rapport building kind of discovery process, a questioning process. So you learn more about the client or the prospective client. You build some rapport with them. You uncover their needs, or as my business partner Jim Lebetti likes to say, find their pain. and understand how your services can best help them. So, that's the beginning. You have to start with that. Then you transition into how you can alleviate that pain or solve their problems through taking them out on the floor and giving them an example or a kind of a beginning program that is more functional in nature. It's not just running them down a line of selectorized equipment. It's utilizing all that your club has to offer. Probably a more functional approach to training. Definitely incorporating some warm up. Doing some things like mobility work. Doing some things like some dynamic stretching. Some of that sort of stuff that maybe that they're not accustomed to, but they're going to derive great benefit from if they integrate it into their program. And by you showing them things that maybe they wouldn't have figured out on their own and maybe they're a little bit unfamiliar with, they're going to recognize the value in working with a trainer. Okay, well, also during this segment, and mind you, this is not a full-scale workout. This is not, you taking them through 3 sets, a bunch of exercises. This is more like a sample. And, you're illustrating with them how you teach, how you're going to teach them particular movements. You're going to correct them. You're going to give them a lot of guidance. So, it's educational, it's motivational, there's some accountability there, and it's just kind of a condensed version of what a training session might be like. Okay, then you're going to come back to the training office or to the table, wherever you met the prospect to begin with, and you're going to write down what you did today. You're going to give them some concrete takeaways, because if they don't buy, they're still a club member, and you want to make sure that their experience there is good. And then you finish by offering them your services and making some recommendations. So, that's step one. That's what we do with new members. Now, I mentioned that you may offer them more than one session, and the rationale behind this is, we don't want to just throw the members to the wolves. We want to keep them coming to the club. We want to get them kind of engaged and taking advantage of what you have to offer, but we also want to alleviate all those, so-called B-backs that we see so often in gym sales in general. And we can do this by scheduling a defined next appointment. So when we come back in, if somebody says, well, I need to talk to my husband about it, I need to talk to my wife about it, I need to look over my finances, instead of browbeating them, trying to overcome objections and everything else, I'll talk to you in a second video about how you can, address objections and alleviate some concerns. But your fallback is always, well, terrific. You know what? We're going to be meeting on Tuesday to review your program, to make sure that you know what you're doing, and to address any nutritional questions that you may have. And then you can go ahead and tell me what you and your husband decided. We can get you started on your program then. But it gives you a defined point, so you don't have to worry about them being a B-back. And then they know that, you know what, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to have to look this person in the eye and I'm going to have to make a decision. So, that makes things a little bit easier on your part, and it's also better for the client as well. So, okay, this is going to wrap up video number 1. We're going to be back with video number 2, and we're going to talk about actually selling training. And we're going to also talk about who you can go to in the club and some ways that you can approach each of them to sell more training to members who aren't new members, members who've been with you for a while, be active, or people who are inactive. So this is Pat Rigsby, and I'll be back with the second video.